What's up, everyone? So we are continuing with the Magic Mountain reviews, and this is Goliath, the unique hypercoaster at the park. So let's go talk about this one. First off, this is an amazing entrance sign. Definitely one of my favorite entrance signs in the Six Flags chain. So as you can see, this coaster has a massive lift hill and not too steep of a drop. It gets a lot of hate for that, but honestly, it's not too bad. If you sit in the front row, the speed is fantastic. So this is a Hyper Twister coaster by Giovanola. It's 250 feet tall. It has a drop of 255 feet, height of 235 feet. And it's one of only 2 hypercoasters built by Giovanola. And it's still the tallest coaster in California with a lift hill. And you head down a tunnel at the bottom of the first drop. You come up into a turnaround over there. You fly over a nice airtime hill. And unfortunately, you come to a pretty hard stop up here to prevent people from graying out in that helix down there, which is ultra intense and really sucks the blood out of your head. So you take some twisting dives downward. It's hard to see that section down here, but see a little bit through the trees there. Yeah, so I like this ride. It's not like the best hypercoaster ever, but I also don't think it's terrible like people say. Like, there's a lot of people who despise this ride. And like, you know, while it may not have like the airtime of an Intamin Hyper, I can see what Giovanola was trying to do with this layout. And you gotta give them credit, being this is their like first hypercoaster that I ever built, and they didn't build that many coasters, so I don't know, for how new that company was with coasters, I feel like they did as good as they could with this layout. It's definitely very interesting, and the only other ride you're gonna find like this in the world is its sister coaster at Six Flags Over Texas, Titan. But other than that, these are very unique for hypercoasters. Out of a score out of 10, I would probably give this an 8. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but it's also like genuinely a fun ride to me too. You gotta sit in the front row. Back row on this is a little weak, but front row you get some really nice speed coming down that first drop, and then when you go up and enter that turnaround over there, you're gonna get some nice laterals and a little bit of airtime as well. The speed in this in the front row kind of feels similar to a Giga, which is what I like about it. So those are pretty much my thoughts on Goliath. It's a really fun coaster. Not as good as the Intamin Hypers, and not as good as some B&M Hypers, but this is not a terrible hypercoaster, and I definitely would take this over some B&Ms. I would take this over Candemonium. It's a lot more interesting, whereas Candemonium's just pretty generic. So I think 8 is a fair score for this. Not like not like life-changing, like a 10 out of 10. But it's a very solid ride, so I'd give it an 8. Get a little bit more video of it for you here, and I hope you enjoyed this review, and please stay tuned for more.